Hello and welcome to the Global Environmental Crime Tracker. Please refer to our user guide, which can be found on the website and contains important information about how and what data is recorded. This is our main dashboard and provides different links for you to enter the tracker onto the different analysis reports that we've designed. In the top left-hand corner is the total number of incidents contained within the tracker, and this is refreshed several times a day, updating when EIA staff enter new data into the database, providing you with a live update. I'm going to enter the tracker here and start with the general page, which provides an overview of all the incident data contained in our database. As you can see, there are filters along the top, which we will use throughout the demo. Down the left-hand side are some key takeaway figures: the number of incidents in the tracker, the number of seizures recorded, how many arrests have been made, and how many of those arrests have led to a conviction, as is held within our database. At the top here, we have a map visualizing the number of incidents recorded in each country, with red signifying the higher number of incidents. You can zoom in, move around, and hover over for more information. We can also make this visualization bigger by clicking Focus Mode. And we can do this in all of the visualizations and maps in the tracker. This makes the map bigger and full screen so that we can move around more easily and hover over for more information. We can also right-click and show as a table, and this gives a breakdown of all the data included in the visualization. Just going to go back to the report using the button at the top, and below we have an incident graph showing the number of incidents by year per species. This can be filtered by using the drop-down box at the top, which changes the other information on the page. For example, I can filter on species category and select pangolin, and then year 2020. This has changed the other information on the report and shows there were 236 incidents relating to pangolin in 2020. There is also an option to drill down in more detail into the year you selected by pressing these arrows on the graph. Here we have the data by quarter, and pressing again shows the data per month. And we can clearly see a reduction in incidents here in April and May of 2020, which we can most likely attribute to the COVID pandemic and global lockdowns. To remove these filters, click the rubber button at the top of the filter to bring back the rest of the data and reset the dashboard. To get more information about the incidents, we can drill through. For example, I could click at a country on the map, for example, Thailand, hover over the incidents and right-click, selecting drill through and then incident map. We can now see a number of different incidents displayed on the map as latitude and longitude locations. The different colours represent the different species and are explained at the bottom of the map in the legend. When multiple species have been seized, the point will reflect the different colours. And you can hover over for more information. Here you can also see the colours of other species that have been seized alongside our core species in the same incidents. I'm now going to filter the map further so we can go to species category and select elephant. And this now shows all of the elephant incidents in Thailand. And you can see the larger the incident circle, the higher concentration of incidents in that location. And we see Bangkok here with a high concentration of elephant incidents. Moving around the map, if you find an incident you want more information on, you can hover over, right-click, drill through, and this time go to incident details. This then gives a breakdown of the information contained in the database, including a description of the incident, what was seized, in this case, 2 raw ivory tusks, the transit method, whether any arrests were made, and the source of the incident. Go back by clicking the arrow button. And this time I'm going to add some more data back on. One of the key things we look at is possible conversions, specifically with wildlife trafficking. So I'm going to select another species to add on by holding Control on my dashboard and selecting another box. I've chosen pangolin because often ivory and pangolin are seized together. You can see the yellow and blue circles now appearing on the map next to each other, which can be explored further. And I can see where I just looked at that ivory incident, there's another one in blue, suggesting a pangolin incident occurred there. And I could right-click, drill through and get the incident details of this. And we would then look into the connection between these incidents and look deeper into who was involved and if there were any arrests. I'm now going to go back to the dashboard by clicking on the main EIA logo and go into one of our species-specific dashboards, starting with pangolins. In this dashboard, you can see a number of visualizations to play around with and filter down to your own data requirements. Again, we have a map which shows the incidents broken down further by species item. And we can zoom in, move around, and hover over those incidents for more information. The other visualizations on the page are also interactive. And you can click around and see the information change in the report. Now I can click the buttons at the bottom to move on to the other species, taking us onto the ivory dashboard. And we can break down the ivory seizures further here by ivory type. Using this chart, I'm going to select on worked ivory. I can see the information on the report has changed. And the transit type breakdown is showing me that the majority of worked ivory is transported by air passenger. If I were to click on raw, I can see the chart change. And this time, the majority of raw ivory is actually transported by sea and road. On this dashboard, we can also see the number of ivory incidents this year and the estimate of how many elephants these seizures represent. This is updated live as new incidents are added. Clicking through, we have our Asian big cats page, which focuses on data collected for tigers, Asiatic lions, snow leopard, cladded leopard, and leopards in the Asian range. The map includes trade observations that have been observed by EIA and partners, as well as the incident data. So this combines the seizure data with our intelligence and shows the location of known trade hubs alongside the seized species. And we can zoom in, hover over, and drill through as required. We also have a visualization of those tigers seized that are suspected to have come from captive sources. And if we click on 2019, for example, and yes, the map shows us the location of where those were seized. The rest of the dashboard changes too, and again, we can drill down into trends. At the bottom here, we can also enter the captive tiger facility map, which shows the known captive tiger facilities and those implicated in the trade. Clicking through the arrows, we also have our dashboards for rhino horn, the timber trade, and totoaba, which is a critically endangered fish species found in Mexico's Gulf of California and sought after for its prized swim bladder. One additional functionality we've added is to look at environmental crime trade routes. As we know, organised criminals need tried and tested trade routes to be able to move illicit goods across borders. This dashboard reflects the data we've collected on how goods are smuggled across countries and continents. This is a concealment method word cloud, which is a free text field in our database showing most frequent keywords used to describe how the goods are concealed. Hover over any of these to have a look at how many times it's appeared. Or we can search at the top for a keyword and change the report. So I'm going to put in foil, and we can see that there were 58 incidents where foil was used to conceal an item. The transit type breakdown shows us that the majority of these incidents were from air passenger, most likely due to X-ray machines at the airports. At the bottom, we can see the seizure countries, the countries that they transited through, and the outbound destination countries. We can now drill through to the incident map to see those locations and species displayed on the map. We can also then drill through to get those incident details to look at the information closer. And we can see the majority were at airports. And we can now also drill through to the trade route map. This is broken down by trade route type, for example, whether it was a transit or destination country. And if you hover over the data point, it will tell you how many times it has appeared as a trade route country. For example, here we have Ethiopia, that has appeared 6 times as a transit country for those incidents where foil was used as a concealment method. This will be developed into more granular data in future as part of our mapping and functionality development. That brings us to the end of the demo. We will be regularly updating the tracker with new environmental crime incidents, including data on the illegal trade of dangerous global warming refrigerant gases next. Please use our Contact Us form to provide any feedback on the tracker or to contribute your own data to the project.